I do not blame women in the slightest if they say, you know what? I don't want to put myself through that. I've gone through enough. I'm not going to further traumatize myself.
Yeah, I understand that. However, we have to believe the evidence. And so, your host, Pearl, and today I have a special guest, Bronte Remzik. Welcome to the show. Family medical resident, right?
Yes.
And TikTok sensation. You have over 500,000 followers on TikTok. And I would say your content is pro-feminist, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
And anything I missed?
No, not necessarily. That pretty much sums it up.
What is your definition of feminism?
So my definition of feminism is probably the broad overarching definition, which would be wanting equal opportunity and representation for women and, feminine presenting people.
What?
I think that we should be equally represented in political and other kinds of positions of power.
So you started with academic. How are there barriers in the academic field when the majority of scholarships in STEM go to women?
Yes.
And there's women for STEM, there's entire parts of organizations that are pushing women to go into STEM, and it's really not the same for men.
Discrimination that women will experience when it comes to us wanting to achieve these higher level degrees and these more rigorous academic and professional settings. Mm-hmm. A lot of people will automatically have doubt that we're capable of doing it.
The data shows that women quit careers in STEM quicker than men.
Right. And that goes back to what I was talking about, right? Because you have to look at the reasons that they're quitting. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's because of things like discrimination against them, mm-hmm. which creates a hostile work environment and a hostile academic environment. Or they're not able to balance the needs of their family.
What is the discrimination? It just sounds like it's words you don't like. The world doesn't care. And men understand when they go into the world that the world does not care about their problems and how they feel. And the problem is women go into a man's world and think that the world should care about how they feel and their problems.
See, and I think of it as the opposite way. I don't think that it's good that men's feelings aren't cared about. I think that we should care about everyone's feelings. I think that we should realize that our words matter and the way that our words impact people matter. And it shouldn't go to men don't care, so we should just say whatever we want and you shouldn't care. I think it's the opposite. I think that we need to be more compassionate. I think it's completely realistic to take people's feelings into account. It's called empathy. Mm-hmm. I think that we need to promote empathy. I don't think that we should promote such a callous, harsh world.
I want to shine for myself.
And that's totally great if we have a wish list, but this is the real world and not the way that we want the world to be. And the problem is women go into a man's world and they have no idea how harsh it is and how mean they are to each other. So, when you're sitting on a chair that's made of wood that a guy died to get here, it makes you look pretty spoiled when we're saying, oh, but people said mean words to me in my career. Men have always died to protect and build civilization. The difference is in the past, they used to get thank you and an appreciation, and now they don't. Because feminism has convinced women that our jobs are equally as important to men's, and they're not.
Mm-hmm. Women make sure that we prioritize empathy and communication. So when we feel like we're not being welcomed, when we feel like we're being wronged, we want to improve the communication to improve the circumstance.
We're better at complaining.
I would say we're better at communication.
We're better at complaining about the stuff we don't like. Do you think society discriminates more against men or women, or do you think it's equal?
I think that they discriminate more against women, but that's not to say that men aren't discriminated against in some aspects.
Okay, how are women more discriminated against?
As I've said before, in my own personal experience and statistically.
Other than, can we do something other than just people say mean words to me? Because men, by the time they're 22, somebody said a mean word to them. Usually it's a woman.
Bans. Can you name a law that controls what men can do and access healthcare and the healthcare that men can access? Mm-hmm. Is there any laws that control men's healthcare access?
Well, if you want to talk about men's body, men are required to go into selective service. So if there is a wartime, they are required to be drafted.
Yeah, and I think that the draft should be abolished.
So you asked for a law. There's a law. There's a way that women's bodies aren't protected. There's a way men's bodies aren't protected.
No, you seem to have a problem with the amount that men work and the responsibility that men bear. And so
I don't have a problem with it. I'm acknowledging what it is. And women should be thankful to men for doing it. How do you feel about trans women playing in female sports?
I personally have no problem with it.
But they said tomorrow, hey, you get the final decision. Are they allowed or are they not allowed?
So I would reject that option because it's a nuanced discussion.
Feminists never fight for equality when it comes to men's issues. I've never heard women say women sign up for selective service like the men. Okay, let's go into family court. Do you think that custody should be 50-50 off the bat?
Like physical, or there's different kinds of custody?
Child custody.
Like who they live with or who makes legal decisions for them?
Yeah, 50-50 off the bat. I understand if there's abuse, if there's one parent wants to work more, totally fine, they can work that out. But I'm saying to start off the bat, 50-50 custody, no child support, no alimony.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay. No child support, no alimony?
That's not what I said either.
I'm asking you, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so as I previously said, I think that each case should be analyzed.
At 50-50 custody, no child support, no alimony.
Yeah, and I disagree.
Yeah. And that's my point. Whenever I talk about an issue that would help men or be more fair to men and that benefits women, you don't give me a straight answer.
3%.
Men only get custody 10% of the time.
So we're looking at different statistics.
Most alimony payments are men to women. Most child support payments are men to women.
Mm-hmm. And that's because historical precedent. Yeah. You have to take into like historical context of like and also men earn more than women. Like there's so much nuance to this. Mm-hmm. But from Cornell, I was reading a study by Cornell University that looked at divorces and custody and all these things. And the majority, I think it was 50.3% of child custody cases end up as being joint custody.
The majority of child support and alimony payments are men to women.
Yeah, because men earn more.
That is the biggest wealth transfer in the United States. If women want to be independent, I actually have no problem. Like as I said before, I think it's very impressive you became a doctor. I just think that women that want to take that path should pay for it.
So do you think that the money is for her or for the children?
I think that women do not always spend it on the kids.
Because it takes more to actually
there
run a household.
There are men in poverty over these laws.
Yeah, and a lot of child support isn't paid either. And you can also opt out of child support by relinquishing your parental rights in a lot of states. So if you don't want any rights as a parent, then you can relinquish those rights and then you won't be held accountable for child support. But if you still want to be in that child's life and you want to be involved, then you will have to pay child support. So
no, they take it directly out of your bank account. You can lose your fishing license. You can
no. Poor man.
It's really sad. There's men that kill themselves over this. I know you think it's funny, but like I've interviewed men that were a mile from their kids and haven't seen them in years. And they wanted nothing. I know you think it's like funny, but it's really not.
No, I don't think that it's funny. I think that you bringing up men losing their fishing licenses while talking about women bearing the majority of like childcare duties is that comparison is humorous to me.
I'd be pretty unhappy too if I was on child support or alimony and I had a hard time seeing my kids.
And you had to support your children. What a hard life.
Well, you understand that it's not taxed. So the problem is they take over 50% of the man's income because it's not. So they have to pay taxes on the stuff they're giving her and take half of his paycheck.
To support his children that he wants to be involved in their lives.
Right, but it wasn't his choice because women leave the majority of the time.
It is his choice to relinquish his parental rights if he wants to.
What I'm saying is many men want to be married and they want to be an involved father and they want to stay with the mother of their children. Mm-hmm. My point is if she makes the decision to leave, she should pay for it. If you want to leave, that's totally fine, but you should pay to raise your kid.
Is it not his child as well?
And he should pay for the time. That's why I said 50-50 custody off the bat, no child support, no alimony.
So she gets to take on all of the childcare responsibilities, but he doesn't have to like pay anything. He doesn't have to have any buy-in.
I didn't say all. I said 50-50 custody. He should have the kid half the time.
But doesn't have to pay any money towards it.
No, he should pay for the kid when the kid's at his house.
Okay, and so the majority of the time when the kid is at the mother's house, he doesn't have to be involved in any way financially?
No, she should pay for it. She has a job. Why should he have to pay for a kid?
He should he should support it.
What if she chose to have the kid and she chooses divorce? Why should she not have to pay for her own decision? That's the thing. See, there it is. You want all the freedom to do whatever you want, but you don't want to have to pay for it. You know, I think there are valid reasons for divorce. If women want to divorce, that's totally fine. They can do that. I think that they should pay for their decisions. Again, this goes back to, I say if you want the freedom to do something, you should take the responsibility that comes with it. You want them to have the freedom to do something, but not have the responsibility that comes with it.
I believe women and I believe victims.
Okay, every victim? So every woman you believe?
Again, nuance, Pearl. So if we're talking about things on a population level, and if we're talking about 1 in 4 women will experience this, then no, I can't say every single one because we're talking about millions. So I think, unfortunately, we are left to anecdotal evidence when it comes to a lot of these cases.
Right, but how do you know if somebody is lying?
You don't.
Yeah, and again, this is going back to, you want to be able to accuse men of anything, and we just have to believe women, and the men just have to take it. So, and that's how so many men get falsely accused on college campuses and in the workplace. Okay,
but the majority of them, yes, I believe them.
Okay, so how did they get this number? You brought up the stats. I'm asking you, how is it a survey?
It's multiple surveys, but yeah, and then
so we're just blindly believing what they say. How many filed a police report and actually convicted the guy?
So do you have any idea of how emotionally taxing it is to go through a criminal case? And not only that, not
filed a police report?
I don't know the statistics on that, but I don't think that it's relevant because
this is the challenge we get, is we just blindly believe women.
Yeah, I think that we should. But also 90% of violent crime in our country is committed by men. So it really isn't
only because you don't
confusing.
count abortion.